I'm going to spend 30 minutes on this area, and then the next day, 30 minutes here, and that's what I'm going to do. It's going to keep moving from this way, or keep working until I'm done with the area. But it's been a long time since I've been alive, maybe a week actually. I've been having with consistency, so that's why. Yeah, so like these videos maybe. Perhaps I should. I think I need to stop talking. The fact that I can already feel myself slowing down just by talking is maybe indication I should tone back the chat. I don't want to. I think I need to focus on the drawing. I've been working on this area for all this year so far. I'm only able to work on it in 30-minute sections, 30-minute bites. And I'm not able to be fully satisfied with what it looks like. And these, I think, working on it in 30-minute sections, 30-minute bites is actually quite counterproductive because I know that it slows me down because I'm not able to get drawing momentum in. And I tend to linger in the same spot because when I come back the next day, because I'm only working on it for 30 minutes at a time, I come back the next day, I'm like, oh, I can still make this a little bit, I can still tweak this, you know. I can make, I still see some things that are a little bit off. It's not, the value isn't, the shade isn't quite how I wanted it. And if I was working on it for an extended period of time, I probably would have said, you know what, it's close enough. You know, I think I got what I'm looking for. I think it's at the level that I want it to be. And then I'd be more willing to move forward with the drawing because I'm able to spend 2 or 3 hours, 4 hours at a time on it. But I'm only able to do 15, 30 minutes at a time. And I'm not, when I jump back in, it's kind of like going to the gym and you only work out for 5 minutes. But your workout's supposed to be an hour long, and you go in there and you work out for 5 minutes. You just barely get done warming it up, and then you get like one set in, and then you go. You say, all right, that's good. We'll continue this workout tomorrow, and you go back to the gym the next day, and you get the second set in, but you have to do 4 sets. So you do 4 days of work of going to the gym, but you're only doing what is essentially one day, one workout for the week by going in uh, 4 days and doing 1 day's of work, 1 day's worth of workouts. You know, that's what's happening here. Is I'm going in and I'm only drawing for 30 minutes when I really should be working on the drawing for about 2 to 3 hours at a time before I move forward. You know, and I will admit it's caused me to really it's caused me to take a lot longer on a drawing that I would have progressed a lot quicker because if no I would have quicker if I had gotten that forward momentum from working on it for an extended period of time. And sometimes when you come back to the drawing, what happens is what I worked on the day before, because I only worked on it for 30 minutes, and I end up working on the same area again because I still think that it's not quite there yet. While if I were to work on it in longer portions, I would be more satisfied with what certain things look like, you know? I'd be more satisfied with what it looks like, how it looks, the value that's added. So I think what I'm doing is I'm just gonna work on it in 30-minute spouts, like in areas, and just force myself. Like I'm gonna area for 30 minutes. And tomorrow I'll work on this area for 30 minutes, 30 minutes, 30, and we'll just move from left to right, and we'll keep doing that. And then maybe I'll get momentum and I'll move downwards, and then I will redo the process over and over again, where I'll work on a for 30 minutes. I'll go back to the top and kind of do it in layers, so that I can at least feel like something is moving forward. Because I haven't done grid drawings like this, where I've been in an exorbitant amount of time on them. Or I haven't done a drawing like this, actually. I've done some, but not a lot. I haven't done enough to know when I need to move forward. And there's other artists that know, okay, I can move forward on this. Let's go move to a different area. They'll know when they're done. For me, I am in this position to know when I need to move forward, and I will linger longer than I probably should, and that's just because of inexperience. And so I need to figure another way until I get that experience. How I typically work in the drawing is I'm especially drawing in itself, drawing in pastel, drawing in pencil, drawing in charcoal, whatever. I'm used to the idea of moving around the drawing, moving to different locations, and working in different areas of that drawing, and turn around mostly, not necessarily working in one specific area. So this type of drawing, I felt I needed to focus on one area. Before I was focus on one area, finish it before I'm able to move forward with it. But I might just have to kind of like purposely move forward and challenge myself in a different manner, because it's not working at the moment. And so it's not working. I gotta figure out a way that's gonna force my hand and force myself to kind of keep pushing the drawing forward, getting it closer to its finish line. I don't know. And I just gotta be consistent at working. I haven't been wanting to get up at 5 in the morning to draw. I just haven't. I'd have the alarm turn on, and it would do its little jingle, ring, 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 wake me up, and turn it off. And this morning I was really close to turning it off again, even though I went to bed early, and there was no reason for me to not get up. I went to bed early, and I got a lot of sleep. It was quite nice. But it's something about just getting up early that I just do not like. I think a lot of people don't like it, but like even if I went to bed like 6 or 7 at night, in the evening, and woke up at 5, I still would not want to wake up at 5, even if I got like 12 hours sleep. If I went to bed at 5 and then woke up at 5, getting like 12 hours sleep, still not like the idea that I got up at 5. I don't know. It's just something about like I don't like it. I can't express it. I don't know why. Just don't like getting up at 5. so decided that I don't want that I need to really focus on getting these drawings in order. So I'm going to push the drawing faster, or really focus. Because every time I work on it in the same area, I feel like it's improving, like it's getting a little bit better. And so I don't want to move forward until I feel that I'm finished with it. But I feel like it gets a little bit better, like the value is getting a little bit more in depth, the richness is getting better, and so I just tend to linger at the same spot, and it's not necessarily a good thing, you know. Again, I don't really, it's not one of those things. I'm not really one of those artists that tends to do a drawing that I will spend this much time on. And I've been meaning to start a new drawing because I've been so inconsistent with my art practice. You know, I just haven't started a new drawing because of that inconsistency. So when I get to the point where I'm able to maintain, what I need to do is I need to do like 30 days or something. 30 days where I draw every day for the same amount of time, get up at 5 o'clock for 30 days straight. I think helped me, but lately it's just been such a drag. Who wants to get up at 5 o'clock? You have to. I don't have my job. I work in the evenings, so my job is not necessary for me to get up at 5. I don't have to be somewhere, be anywhere at 5 o'clock or 7 o'clock. I have to just be here. So getting up at 5 is like I have to do it with purpose, on purpose, you know. So it's really challenging to do that. Like it's hard to motivate myself. You know, it's fleeting. It's so fleeting. And some weeks I'll do really good, and I've been trying my best. Actually, when I say I've been trying my best, I say that, but I'm self-soothing, like I'm lying to myself. Because if I was trying my best, I would have been up at 5 o'clock every day, drawing like a good old boy, right? But I'm clearly not trying my best. When I draw, I think I'm trying my best. But when I'm trying to get up at 5 and I fail because I've been dropping the ball, you know. So after 30 minutes, I'm going to stop on this, and then tomorrow I'll work on 30 minutes in this area. I'm going to be working in two. I just need to move it forward, and if I don't finish the shading, I'm going to do it. I'm going to keep it forward, and then I'm going to just kind of go down in layers. So I'm going to do it in layers, and so it's going to get. I think that's how I have to do it until I get until I do a level of understanding of how to do these grid drawings, which is going to take a while. I'm going to have to just my initial idea was to keep working on the areas until I was done with it, but because I'm only working on them at 30-minute like time slots, I come back to it the next day, look at it like it still needs a little bit more. You know, it still needs a little bit more work, a little bit more time in the oven, and then the next day I come back, but it's still not quite there because I'm starting to notice. I noticed a few different things. You know, I just noticed a little bit. I noticed some things that are off, and I want to correct them. And as I said, it just keeps me in the same spot over and over again because I'm only working on it for 30 minutes. If I were working on it for 3 hours, I'd work on it after 30 minutes on this area, and I move here, and I move here, and I would move I'll keep the ball rolling. But because I'm only drawing on this for 30 minutes, I forget what I kind of did the day before or the week before, or whenever I start back at the drawing, when I come back to the drawing, you know. So there's that. And I'm hoping that I need to change the methodology. I need to get the drawing going. Um, I think for people that watch these live streams that are maybe may or may not be watching regularly, I think they're like, when is this person going to go and move to another part of the drawing? He's been working this spot forever, and it's like a psychological thing that's happening. I'm not doing it on purpose. I'm doing it because I don't feel like it's the area's finished, and I didn't want to move to another area until the area has been finished. So I just need to say, hey, this area is finished. Oh, let's go ahead and move to another area, and then we can skip as we go. You know. So I'm using an HB pencil here. Normally I use a H, but the HB is a little bit softer. So I'm using an HB pencil here to kind of just even out a bit more and darken it a little bit quicker. Um, Still not dark enough, but it's I'm okay with it right now. As I said, I'm kind of I'm trying a new thing. I'm trying to turn a new leaf. Beginning of the year was I started out on fire, dude, on fire, and then really sick in the middle of the month, at the beginning of the year, and then I had all these issues with cars and vehicles. Like I had cars that had problems at the shop. I had to take cars and get oil changed. I had to replace parts, all kinds of stuff. And now I have car things I have to do again. I gotta get license plate stuff done. All kinds of silly little things that are starting to pack. Like, uh, they're starting to what you call it? It's starting to add up. So here we are, all kinds of silly little things just slowing me down. And as I said, this type of drawing is new to me. I am not a blender or a shader. I don't. I guess now that I'm shading like this, I can say that I am. But like most of my work, I don't shade like this. I don't build up the value and really try to focus on like the details in this manner. And so it's new to me. I think when I was younger, and like high school and such, I think that was my goal to do stuff like to get like good at this, and I did it to some extent. Like I was like bouncing back between trying to capture things that looked real and then trying to be the next great comic artist. But I really wasn't even trying, and by doing that, I was failing at both. You know, I didn't have anything, so now I just kind of do whatever, and then hope that maybe something comes through it all. So I don't really. A preference. Kind of like it all. Like I appreciate and like comic art, so I can I do it in my sketchbook. I appreciate and like cartoons, so I do that in my sketchbook. I also appreciate the people that can do hyperrealism. So I'm kind of like a Renaissance guy with art. I kind of do a little bit of everything, but because of that, I'm not. I wouldn't say I am. I'm a. I wouldn't say that I'm a master of any of it. I'm I'm proficient at kind of a lot of things, but I'm not a painter who I could say I'm a master. You know, I'm not a person that draws like say like I'm a master draftsman. I'm decent at all of it because I've all done abstract work, done a bunch of crazy stuff that like. So I got a lot of experience in different fields of art, and I think a lot of people do that to some degree. But I think what a lot of artists typically do is they'll like try it out once or twice, like yeah, I kind of like not so much, and then they'll go all in on one thing, and then they become masters of it, become professionals, become hyper skilled at it. Anyways, I don't know what I'm talking about. I could be wrong. I don't. It's not like I know what every artist does in their own professional practice. You know, you don't see what they're working on outside of what they're presenting to the world. They might do a lot of abstract work on the side. They might practice different type of artwork on the side, but the only they might practice different types of artwork on the side, present and sell the work that gives them a salary, or the earnings that it makes them gives them a living, provides them with a living. So you might know what they do out in their personal art life. They might do lots of things, just like I do. They might not talk about it. So I don't know if that's the case. I just feel like I'm in a vacuum, right? But then again, a lot in social media, sometimes you have two sides of the coin. There's one side where people really curate their work online, and there's other sides where the artists just show everything. It's like shotgun. Here's all of it. Take it or leave it. And I'm not saying either one is better. I'm saying which one's better. Who knows what's better? I think the other reason why this is also taking longer uh, than I'm accustomed to, because as I'm working on these drawings, I'm getting more. I'm starting to notice I'm getting more attuned to the sensitivities, the tiny nuances that I'm seeing. So I'm starting to see certain things, and as I do that, it takes longer and longer. So I'm starting to see smaller details that I normally didn't see before, and I want to express those in the drawing itself. So that's one of the other reasons why this drawing is taking. But it's also one of the other reasons why I'm not moving forward with the drawing. You know, because I'm noticing small things. Why you can kind of see in these areas small little things. I'm trying to render them. in the past, when I would do a drawing like this, I would make the edges of this person harder. But in the photo, the figure has a soft edge, a soft silhouette, and I'm really trying to develop my sense of hard and soft edges on my drawings, and my work, because I'm noticing that a lot of artists are really doing that right now. And I don't know if that's just like it's come to like be more popular, like it's the new thing to do with your art, lay it on edges, like it's kind of like a popular thing to do, you know, or just noticing more and more of it as I get more experience in drawing, and I'm noticing more of it, more prevalent. And my work never really had like soft edges. I'm really trying to practice that strategy. So like these aren't lines; these are just like this is a value, this is a value, this is funny, but it's not pressed hard enough that's going to create like a straight line. But it creates the line itself because of the contrast. So that's one of the things I'm really focusing on is soft and hard edges in my work. And that's why one of the other reasons why this drawing is taking a lot of time to do. Is because I'm trying to be extra sensitive to that. Not just that, but as I said, inexperience with doing this type of approach. I'm not a detailed artist, even though I can do detail, as I said, but because I don't do a lot of detail, or to a detail of this extent, I don't know when to know, like, hey, is this enough detail? How far do I go with it? You know, how long do I linger in a spot before I can say it's done? And I don't know, because I don't do enough of these drawings. A lot of artists will be like, well, it's done when it's done, but like they also have a lot of experience in photorealism, and I'm not super familiar with it, or at least enough to be like, oh, okay, this is when I need to move on. And that's really what I'm struggling with. When do I move on in my drawing? When do I move forward? When do I say this is good enough? What makes it good enough, right? And that's my the things that I'm focusing on. So I think what's going to happen is I'm going to focus on just doing areas in 30-minute blocks and move on, and then as I move on, I'll get more of a understanding of how far with these drawings, how much detail I want to add to them, et cetera, even though I've been lingering on in the same spot for like the past year. You know, I'm not gonna lie. I have been in the same spot over and over again. Said it's every time I return to it, it gets a little bit better. It gets a little bit closer to what I'm looking for. You know, and that's kind of tough. It's tough. It gets closer, but I really want to move. I want to move on to the other area, but as I'm working on it, it's getting closer and closer to what I'm seeing or how I want the shading and value to be. You know, so it's improving. Anyways, it's 30 minutes. Tomorrow I'm going to work on this small section. When I say this section, it's probably going to be that I'm going to move around on, and I'll just leave this alone. Now I'm going to move on from left to right. That's my goal. That's my goal. That's how I'm going to try to force this drawing to get closer to its completion. All right, I got to go. Thanks so much for watching. You have a wonderful day.